What is happening, people? It is Brian, Alsruhe, NeverState.com, and today I am walking the dogs around the pond, which means that I'm going to be holding my camera, speaking to you guys about some subject, and today's video is going to be all about how to build your work capacity. Now, before all my static lifting friends click off this video because you don't think work capacity has anything to do with 1 rep maximum power, I just want you to know that you're absolutely wrong, because if your volume work goes up, then absolutely you will be able to push more weight because you're going to have more size and mass, which hopefully translates over to 1 rep maximum. So your work capacity has everything to do with your 1 rep maximum power, but it is something that gets very much neglected. However, I will say all of the tips that I give today won't mean anything at all if you do not have the mental fortitude to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and push into different kind of reservoirs than you knew existed. Because the bottom line is, when we're talking about work capacity, we're basically saying how much and how long you can deal with suck. Now, I get asked this question all the time because I mainly work with athletes like football players, rugby players, MMA guys, powerlifters, strong men, but on top of that, I do a ton of work with military personnel, with fire, EMS, police, people like that who their job, they need a physical aspect to their job. They need to take PT tests, they get in altercations. There's a lot of things that go on in life or death situations with them that don't go on for normal people. So they come to me for their programming because I do something that builds work capacity. And the reason why that I like to do that is because it does amazing things for those individuals in sympathetic nervous response situations or fight or flight situations. So responding to a fire, gunshots, someone laying on the ground dead, whatever the case may be, when they come onto a scene and something crazy is going on, or even if we take it to the lifting realm at a huge competition, or even maybe for like a really big PR, I'm sure some of you have had some of that auditory exclusion and visual exclusion where everything kind of goes away. It sounds like the music is underwater. You're not really in the same place that you used to be. Now, all that's happening is that your body's literally telling yourself that you're in some serious trouble right now, and we're gonna rally the troops and make this go well. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that will make you very strong for a very short amount of time. However, come on, flies. However, once that short amount of time is over, you get extremely tired. Now, we're able to mimic those situations in the gym through some training. Now, it's not nearly as intense as a sympathetic nervous response system. Let me try that one again. Now, it's not nearly as intense as a sympathetic nervous response system thing. You guys know what I'm saying. But by attempting to mimic those responses, we can do a lot for those individuals when they come across that situation, so that it doesn't seem like the first time they've been there. If they get to a situation in their training regularly where they are at a crossroads where they're either going to quit or they're going to persevere, and they continually make the right decision over and over and over again, then when those big real life situations come up, that decision is going to be a lot easier for them because they understand what it means to put everything on the line and to make that decision at a moment when you're typically not in a very good, soft, and easy place. Like, you're typically in a very hard place when you need to make that decision. You're very uncomfortable already, and it's going to get more uncomfortable. However, you need to make that decision, which ended up being an extremely long-winded way to say that when it gets painful, you lean more into the pain. Now, for my viewers out there not interested in being superheroes, you just want to lift more weights, more times, then this is going to be important to you, because if you find yourself failing at rep ranges at like 8+ reps, 8 and above, then most likely that is not a strength issue. Most likely that's a work capacity issue. You probably have the strength in your legs to do a set of 12 squats with 300 pounds. However, your work capacity does not allow you to get past that set of 8. You're heaving a lot. Your chest is just going out of your mind. You're getting a lot of lactic acid buildup in your legs. There are a lot of terrible things going on. And maybe if that would hold off, if you built that tolerance up, then you'd be, instead of getting sets of 8 at 300 pounds, maybe now you'd be getting sets of 12. And if you think that doesn't matter over a long period of time and tonnage moved and just what you're able to do as far as strength and size, then you are greatly underestimating the power of work capacity in your sets. That's why your volume work is so important. You don't get stronger when you're going for 1 rep maximums or even 2 rep maximums. You might, maybe you're getting a little stronger, but the strength and the size comes in the volume, and that's exactly what we're talking about. If you can get 2, 3, 4 extra reps per set with the same weight, then guess what? You're gonna grow. So when your goals even slightly switch over to building up some work capacity, then your workouts are definitely gonna change, and your mindset's gonna have to change as well, because these types of workouts will 100% show you how out of shape you truly are. And then number 2, it's also gonna show you over time that what you thought your preconceived ceilings were are not your ceilings whatsoever. However, it's gonna be super, super painful getting there. But I think what most people are not embracing is that like 90% of the time when people decide that they are done their set, that is because their body is telling them to quit. They still have plenty in there. It's just their body's whining a little bit, because if you didn't know, your body loves homeostasis. It does not want to change. It knows that you're surviving with what you've got right now. So it's saying, man, let's just ride this out. You're good to go. However, you start trying to put some change on that thing, and it's going to whine and cry and let you know about it. Now, typically when your body starts whining and crying, most people will just stop and be like, hey, I gotta listen to my body. Set your own pace. That's what it's there for. So I just think a lot of people need to realize that their physiological wall that they hit in the gym most likely is just a psychological one, and there is a whole nother gear way past that. If you guys have never read anything by David Goggins, just search David Goggins 40% rule, and that guy is an amazing athlete, amazing individual in his own right. Just terrific stuff. You should read some of his stuff, because it really teaches you about what the capability of human performance truly is, whether it be with injuries or whatever. I'm not saying you try to mimic him, but I'm saying everyone could learn a little something about not giving up so easily when just your body is telling you to. But the problem with that are these preconceived glass ceilings that people have set for themselves because of things they've read by experts on the internet is not allowing them to work nearly hard enough to reach the goals that they've set for themselves. So it's kind of a strange thing. That's why a lot of times I think education on a subject should only be a reward for putting hard work in already. I think way too many people are wasting their time counting macros and trying to analyze every single thing to get the perfect program, perfect this, perfect that, and they'd be getting results if they just got in the gym or putting work in. Pause for the helicopter. Needs to fly faster. So I think what I was gonna say before the helicopter was that almost everyone takes too much rest between their sets. I look at it very much like a runner who, when they feel like they're out of breath, they just try to keep sucking in more and more oxygen, but that's not what they need to do. They need to slow down, they need to exhale, they need to get the carbon dioxide out of their system and regulate their breathing. Same exact thing here. I think too many people are taking too much time between their sets, and it is actually taking away from some of the training effect that they could get, both hormonally as well as cutting body fat, killing two birds with one stone. There's a lot of things could happen there that I think people are not taking advantage of. So without further ado, I'm gonna go into just a couple things that I think that I personally used to help build my work capacity, because a lot of people wanna know, and these are gonna help you out. You can apply it to whatever workout you decide to use. All right, so the first thing I wanna talk about, which I think a lot of you could have guessed, is giant sets. So giant sets is just a fancy way of saying circuit training. Guys, there is absolutely nothing new in the weightlifting world. Everything is just recycled. Giant set just basically means that you're taking a couple exercises, you're doing them together, and then you're taking a rest at the end of it. So for me personally, I tried to make it as scientific as possible, so I stick an antagonistic muscle mover or an explosive muscle mover before my main muscle mover for the day. So I will do something like a box jump before a squat. After my squat, I will do some sort of ab or core exercise, and then I'll do 30 seconds to a minute of something that's super hard, like double unders or prowler sprints or burpees or something to keep my heart rate up. Then I'll take a strict 2-minute rest. I'll manipulate whatever I need to on the bar as far as weight is concerned. I'll get a sip of water. I'll make any notes in my journal that I need to, and then I'm back on it, all right? That is a basic idea of what a giant set is, and I use them all the time, not only to keep my body fat down, number 2, to keep me athletic and moving in my workouts. Number 3, it gets my workouts done in like half the time. And then number 4, I get bored at this point. I've been lifting for over 2 decades, and like the idea of just sitting for like 5 minutes between a set of bench press, there's a lot of things I'd rather do, like drink and Drano. But with giant sets, I can get a ton of work done in a short amount of time. I walk out feeling like I'm an athlete, and it's all beautiful stuff. So I would highly encourage that you do that. Plus, the shortened rest periods is not taking any rest between your main exercises. It will just build up your lactate threshold, tolerance, threshold, either. All around great things. I have done this for so many years now, it's not funny. People ask how I got my size, my strength. It has been giant sets pretty much the entire time since I left college, so yeah, forever. The second easy thing that I think you can do to help build your work capacity is to shorten your rest times, or just stick to your rest times in general. So I am a fan of the phrase, what gets measured is what gets done. Not all the time, but definitely in this instance I am, because oftentimes your perception and reality are not the same, because after a seriously heavy set of too many reps, 1 minute, 2 minutes can seem very, very short. And conversely, if something's not heavy enough, then 2 minutes can seem very, very long. So this is another good way, if you're a beginner, to judge your intensity, all right? So the basic idea here is just that you want to keep a stopwatch or your phone near you for your sets. When you get done your set, I want you to hit the stopwatch. Now, you're not taking that 2 minutes to go search Instagram or do anything like that, because you need to be mentally focused into what you're doing, guys, or else you're going to get injured. That's the number one thing that I think I could tell people in the gym as a beginner is when you're in the gym, be in the gym. It is so important, or else you're playing a dangerous game. You get hurt easily, okay? So stay focused, but take that 2 minutes. Consider what went good on the last set, what went bad, and try to fix it for this next set. Get all set up, be perfect, and make just each rep count, because you're either ingraining good reps or you're ingraining bad reps, okay? Now, sticking to a prescribed rest periods at the beginning might seem like your strength drops because it seems like you don't have enough time, but that's not your strength. That's your work capacity, okay? You give that 2 weeks of continually going before you're ready, and that will build. Now, I just said go before you're ready. That's something that I echo in the gym constantly, all right? That is one of the greatest gifts I've ever learned, not only in lifting, but also in life, is that it's never a good time. It's never gonna feel like you're ready. It's never gonna feel like you're prepared enough, all right? You need to go before you're ready. So when you are getting ready for your next set of 10 burpees, when you are 70% recovered, that's when you go. Not when you're 90%, not when you're 100%. You go when you're still going, I don't wanna do this. I am not ready for that yet. That's when you go, because that decision right there hardens your mind. And hardening your mind is how you build work capacity. Because again, work capacity is nothing more than just leaning into the suck. The third easy way to build work capacity in workouts is using cluster sets or drop sets, strip sets, rest pause sets, things where you are doing a set of 15, but it's not a straight set of 15. It's a set of 7, then 4, then 3, then 1, then whatever the heck I just added that up to. Now, there are tons of videos about this online, so I'm not gonna go into explanation about that. I'll let you guys do your own Google research. But what I will say is forcing your body to do reps when your body does not want to produce force anymore is an absolute excellent way to learn how to drive up your work capacity or just more reps. I talked about this a good bit in my last pull-up video, and I will echo it here, man. Just get in there and continually push past those limits a little bit, whether it be cutting out more rest or adding more reps or whatever you need to do. Continually push a little bit further than you want to, because those who have figured out how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable can literally write their own ticket. You can do whatever you want in the gym once you can get your mind stronger than your body. Now, the only other thing that I will say about cluster sets or strip sets or rest pause sets is that use them more in like your assistance or finisher type of area. Do not do that really early in your workout, because that type of exhaustion and muscle failure is only going to lead to technique breakdown, which if you still have a lot of work to do, you don't really want to take that risk of getting injured. So leave that stuff for kind of last, where you completely spend it and then you can walk out of the gym happy that you didn't work any harder. The fourth thing that is not so easy, but I would encourage that you do, is a big mindset challenge. Now, a lot of people will not agree with this, because doing one of these is absolutely going to interrupt your training for a couple days. However, the mental aspects for me to do them is always worth it. Now, a lot of times I like to do this on some special occasion, whether it be an anniversary or an event like a friend's death or my birthday, the last day before I turn a new year, something like that. A lot of times I will choose something that will literally break me mentally, all right? So let's say, for instance, something that I put on programs pretty regularly for people to try to teach them this is some sort of weighted carry, okay? So let's say you take farmer's handles or a frame or a yoke or a sandbag or whatever it is that you want to carry, okay? Make it around your body weight, make it lighter, heavier, whatever you need to do, and then you're gonna set a clock. Now, all you're gonna do is carry that item for 10 minutes as far as you can. You can drop it as many times as you need, pick it up. You can do whatever you want, but do not dog this, do not sandbag this. Go as fast and as hard as you can out for 10 minutes. Then you get 6 minutes of rest, 5, 6 minutes, take 10 minutes rest, do whatever you want. Now your job is to get that implement back faster than you got it out there. That will teach you an entirely new ceiling about things that you thought were and were not possible, and what you were and were not capable of. If you truly push on that, that will teach you so much about yourself. And then when you're on a set of 8 reps out of 10 on the bench press, trust me, it doesn't seem so bad when you're like, man, yeah, I'm fried, but I can push this because I was out there in the sun with a sandbag a mile out and didn't think I was gonna make it back, and I did. Oftentimes having hard milestones in our lives, whether that be an emotional thing, a physical thing, a commemoration, whatever it might be, having those milestones to be able to look back upon to gain strength from, to say, you know what, this seems really hard, but I got through that, I can get through this. Let me focus on the very next rep, the very next step. Do not look at this stuff as a whole. When you're trying to build your work capacity and you're leaning into the suck, if you look at it as a whole, it will break you. You need to focus on your next step, your next rep, make it to the next mailbox, make it to the next telephone pole. Do whatever you need to do. Play games in your mind, but that is how you build that work capacity. You have the opportunity to make a decision that happens so few times in your life. If you think about it as a professional, or a student or whatever, there's very few times where you are driven to a point of physical exhaustion and just emotional exhaustion. You're just sitting there going, I want to quit so badly. And you can absolutely quit. No one's making you do it. But if you make the choice to overcome, persevere, and drive on, then that will leave a scar inside you, and it builds something inside your soul that I swear to you, you do that enough times and it will change who you are as a person. The decisions that you make in workouts like this, where you're trying to build work capacity, bleed over into other areas of your life, and you will become a better person. That's truth. The fifth super simple thing that you can do to build your work capacity is do more of that thing that you avoid like the plague. For me, that's complexes. If you don't know what complexes are, look it up. It's basically you take a barbell that you can't release until you finish 8 reps of 8 exercises, 8 reps each. It's brutal, right? Doing those with a 400-meter chaser absolutely destroys me, so I avoid them like the plague. When I was in the commercial gym, the stair stepper machine was something that I did not enjoy, so I made sure at least a couple times a week I was spending some time on that machine, because guys, the things that you are not good at are the things that you need to spend more time doing, because your body is telling you that it is not efficient at it, okay? The problem with doing conditioning, something like burpees, I am pretty efficient at doing burpees, so they do not wear me out the same way as someone who is not efficient at doing burpees. Now, one easy way to stay in condition is always continually do things that you suck at, because doing things that you suck at means that you're using a lot of energy and you're fumbling around and you're not smooth with it, right? So if you really, really hate burpees, most likely it's because you are not very good at burpees, which means that you need to do more burpees. If you hate the air assault bike, doing Tabata sprints on the air assault bike, go after that, all right? Figure out what it is that you think in your head right now. Think of like 3 things when I say prowler sprints or wall sits or whatever the case may be. What is it that is the bane of your existence, where you're like, oh man, whenever you see that coming up in your program, or you know you should do it, but you always avoid it, you find reasons not to, that thing you need to do more of all the time, as high intensity as possible. And just like every other tip, you need to push into areas that you normally wouldn't go. Lean into that pain, get comfortable being uncomfortable, and just figure out ways to open up new recesses of pain in your mind where you're like, you know what, this sucks, but it doesn't suck as bad as being in the Holocaust. It doesn't suck as bad as a guy who just got his legs blown off. It doesn't suck as bad as being paralyzed. There are so many things in this world that are terrible, but the burning in your legs or the burning in your lungs is not one of them. That is a gift that you get to experience, so use it. And the 6th and final simple thing that I think you can build your work capacity, because I feel like I'm getting a little preachy, is doing weighted carries, okay? I don't care what they look like. Could be farmer's carries with dumbbells, with a trap bar. If you have implements, use those. Grab a sandbag, grab a stack of plates, grab a person, grab whatever, but stick your body under load and go for walks, go for runs, go for, not runs, by runs I mean very quick walks, like in strongman, you have 50-foot runs. I'm not saying, do not stick a weight on your back and go for a jog. Don't do that. Regularly put your body under load and move with it. For all of you who have problems with growing calves, this will solve it. You never see a good, reputable strongman with small calves. It doesn't happen because he has to carry so much heavy junk. You guys wonder how like country boys get that stupid country strong, right? That they don't really lift weights, but they come in the gym and they're just as strong as you, and you've been lifting for 4 years. You know why? Because they've been carrying bales of hay and buckets of water and things like that. They've been doing manual labor, carrying heavy things around. It does amazing things to build up your total overall strength, and you don't even realize it's happening. It sounds really mean to say it, but you don't oftentimes see a really overweight individual with bad calves or not able to go in the gym and move some weight. And it's obviously because they're kind of moving around all the time. For them, a person who is extremely obese going up the stairs is like a set of step-ups or a set of lunges. Like, it's legit, like the struggle is real. And I'm not saying good, bad, or anything. I'm just saying that people who carry load for long periods of time get strength that people who do not have. So don't get twisted. I'm not telling you to go supersize me with McDonald's, but I am saying that if you pick up things and you carry them virtually every workout, every other workout, sometimes long, sometimes short, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes heavy, mix it up, carry things around, you'll be shocked at what that will do, not only for your strength, but also for your work capacity. Definitely give that a try. All right, guys, so that's it for me. I truly hope this turns out, because the wind, if it does not, I'm gonna be very, very upset, because I think I hit a couple good points. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Guys, let me know if you like these pond talks and any topics that you'd like me to cover, because they could be a little bit more obscure because I'm just kind of walking around and kind of venting or ranting or just riffing. So if you guys have something you'd like me to cover, let me know, because it's an easy video for me to do, and honestly I like it talking about things that you guys like to hear about. So guys, I will catch up with you later in the week. Until I do, go out to something amazing with lives, keep working hard, people, be nice to each other. I'll see you then. Also, before I forget, the Rise t-shirts and the Be Dangerous summer hoodies are both about ready to sell out. So if you guys did want to pick one up, make sure you go over to neversakegear.com. Pick one up, guys. I appreciate the support so much, but we are just about out of them. So if you do want one, pick one up, because once they're gone, we do not restock. So thank you guys so much.